I think we're set to go. How you guys doing? Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to Chase Center and the start of Reveal Week. And welcome to for everyone joining us at chasecenter.com and NBC Sports Bay Area. We're on TV today, so thank you very much. We're Lamont and Tonelli from 107.7 The Bone. Thank you.
A couple of people have heard of us.
Paul and I have been radio partners in the Bay Area for over 30 years, and over those 30 years, we've had the opportunity to make a living by playing and listening to some of the greatest artists of all time.
And that's what brings us to the stage today for the press conference. Today's act that Chase Center and the Warriors will be announcing has been a big part of the Bone for many, many years. And we're set to announce today the first event ever to be held at Chase Center, the Warriors' new home, right here in San Francisco.
So not only will the Chase Center be home to the six-time NBA champion Golden State Warriors, but it will also be a local destination for some of the best acts and events in the world. And it will play host to over 200 events a year, and with activation throughout the district every single day. So it is going to be a great center, and we're going to have a great time with this venue. For the first time ever, San Francisco will have the opportunity to have the best talent come and play right here in the city.
So the first person we'd like to bring to the podium is actually the man who had the vision of building a first-class, world-class entertainment and sports venue in San Francisco when he first bought the team in 2010. In 2014, they bought the property on which the arena stands, and it is the first privately financed, privately owned project, stadium or arena, to be built on privately owned land in the country. So the first time that's been done in the modern sports arena. As I mentioned, Joe Lacob has always had an incredible vision for the city of San Francisco and the Golden State Warriors. And even before purchasing this land, it was Joe who wanted to make sure that a venue of this stature was built right here in the city.
And by the way, today's announcement is another step in making that dream a reality. Also, I just want to add on a personal note, he's just a great guy and pretty cool. He told us that we're one of his favorite FM shows, and he's been in the studio with us several times over the past few years. And the first time we met him was when he first bought the team. He gave me a pair of tickets to the game, and he called that in as a favor to MC today's event. So, I mean, this guy's shrewd. Let's welcome Joe Lacob.
Well, you've said it all. I don't know what else I can say. This is what happens. I must well throw these away. Well, thank you, everybody. Welcome to Chase Center. Now, this is actually what I like about this is a practice, right? Because it's not ready for 5 months. But you get to see most of it here today, and it feels really good, even to see this much here today, just to be able to say, welcome to Chase Center. I'm going to keep practicing that line, because I know we're going to get to use it a lot. Right, Rick? We started this process when we bought the team, a little bit after we bought the team, and it's been 7 years of looking at arenas all over the country. As you know, we had another site in San Francisco originally selected. We met a little opposition, and we decided to pivot, and we bought this land here in Mission Bay. And I think it was actually one of the greatest strokes of luck that we ever had, because this site is so fantastic. I think you all agree. See the water, it's an amazing site. See the San Francisco skyline, it's tremendous. So I will tell you also that we've done pretty well on the basketball side of things. We've built a pretty good team. That's been a lot of hard work. But this, I can assure you, was and is much harder. Maybe, Peter Gruber and I like to talk about, along with Rick and the rest of our staff, maybe the hardest thing we've all individually or collectively ever done. After all, we are building in San Francisco. So it speaks, it's just an amazing thing, the fact that we have this thing almost ready to go here today. And we're going to have a state-of-the-art complex for the first time, as you guys said, in San Francisco in maybe ever, of over 12,000 seats, a major sports entertainment venue, which is really quite an accomplishment and something that will be a legacy for everyone in this city for decades to come. And it represents a transition for us as an organization. We are not just a sports team. I say that a little bit in mock because we're a pretty good sports team, but we're not just a sports team anymore. All of us in the organization have realized for years, and we certainly realize today in all the work that's been with us, that we now are an entertainment organization, a sports and entertainment organization. And we want to be just as good at that as we have been at the sports side of things. We want to deliver world-class acts for all right here at this venue for decades to come, and we intend to do that. Thank you. And it's not just inside the arena, but outside this arena on this beautiful site, the plaza, the 1 acre plaza. We intend to have events there day and night, all kinds of events. I'm looking for 3-on-3 basketball. I don't know about you guys. It's just me. I might even play. And then, of course, on the park, there's going to be a lot of grass there, the mayor tells me. It isn't there yet, but it's going to be there. And that park is going to be a beautiful 5.5 acre park right next to this arena, right on the water, and we'll have a lot of activities there as well. So the activation of this site, this entertainment district for the city, I think will blow people away when this is all finally said and done. So here we are, 172 days. We are counting them down, are we not? 172 days away from our opening event at Chase Center. We're announcing what that is today. And we'll have announcements the rest of this week. We'll have announcements in the succeeding weeks and months, and you're going to see that we have quite a schedule to go. I want to close just by really doing something I need to do, which is to thank Rick Welts. He told me not to do this, but I'm sorry, I have to do this, who has put in an unbelievable amount of time. I don't even know, hundreds, thousands of meetings all around the city and really given his heart and soul to getting this arena built. And that's hard because he's also running a business called the Golden State Warriors basketball team over in Oakland. I also want to thank Peter Gruber, my partner, who is not here today, but really is in many ways inspiration for everything we're doing here. He's got tremendous entertainment genes, obviously in Hollywood and his background. So I want to thank him. But most of all, I want to thank some of the people here in this audience, all of our organization that have worked tirelessly for 5 years on this project. It is an immense amount of work when you're running a business, running a basketball team. And by the way, you're not getting paid any more, or maybe a little more, but you're running this, you're building this edifice, this whole building and everything that goes along with it. And so I want to thank all of our employees for all the great efforts they've put into this. Thank you. And with that, we'll move on.
Now, as you all know, a project of this stature, in order to get it done right, it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of planning, and it starts at City Hall. That's why I'd like to introduce our 45th mayor. She is a native of San Francisco, a true San Francisco mayor, proud graduate of Galileo High School, also got her master's degree at the University of San Francisco, Mayor London Breed.
Hello, everyone. Now, I don't know about you, but I cannot wait until the Chase Center is open. This is an incredible opportunity for our city, not just because the championship Warriors are going to be playing here, but because for the first time in a long time, we have a top entertainment destination in the city and county of San Francisco. Now, as we prepare for a fall opening, I want to be clear. We are working tirelessly with a number of city departments, as you know, Rick, to try to make sure that we don't have a nightmare in this neighborhood when people are trying to get here for the concerts, when they're trying to get here for the games. We are going to be ready and prepared with all of our city departments to make sure that your visitor experience to the Chase Center is one that will make you happy and you can be proud of. Yes, it's going to take a lot of work, but we're committed to making sure that the Chase Center is successful in our city. And I also want to take this time to acknowledge how much the Warriors are committed to the city and county of San Francisco. They didn't just set out to build this world-class Chase Center. They focused on becoming a part of the community, whether it was participating in our City Build program and making sure that local residents have access to work at the Chase Center, or it was making sure that our small businesses and restaurants were vendors in the new Chase Center. It was absolutely an amazing partnership, one that I'm so proud of, one that I know will continue once the Chase Center is open, and I am committed to continuing an incredible working relationship with this incredible team, and we are going to have a good time here in San Francisco. But I also just have one complaint. When Rick Welch came to me with his black hair at one point, I said, okay, Rick, I'll support this project when I was on the Board of Supervisors, but I have one request. Beyonce has to do the opening concert. He'll be announcing the first concert, and needless to say, unfortunately, it's not going to be Beyonce, but I have a commitment that eventually she will be here. And I want to make sure that I'm front and center. But here's the good news. We have an incredible local talented artist that will be headlining at the Chase Center. Rick is going to make that announcement, but I got to tell you, they are just as good as Beyonce. But don't tell Beyonce I said that, because I still love her. But thank you all so much for being here today. I am so excited about what this is going to do to make San Francisco. It's already a world-class city. It's an incredible city, but this is really going to take us over the top. We are going to be a championship-winning city once the Warriors start bringing those rings right here to San Francisco. Thank you all so much, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Mayor. By the way, I just want to say I didn't realize there was going to be so many TV cameras today. If I would have known that, I probably would have started my diet about 4 months ago. Now, the only thing that this next gentleman has not done during his career, and it's been over 50 years in the NBA, is book an opening act at a new sports and entertainment arena, but now he has done that. So let's introduce the man who's done everything in his Hall of Fame career, Warriors President and Chief Operating Officer Rick Welch.
What a day. You know, every time we schedule an event around this arena, we get a day like this. So we ought to be in charge of the weather in San Francisco. Mayor Breed, thank you for being here today. I knew we'd take a shot on Beyonce, but at least you didn't mention your favorite NBA player, LeBron James, okay? All right? But we do thank you for that focus. You have taken upon yourself to make sure every city department is laser focused on a successful opening for Chase Center. So thanks for being here today, but thanks for what you're doing every day. We can't have an event that even addresses Chase Center without also remembering the late Mayor Ed Lee. 7 years ago, we were standing out on Piers 3032, accepting Mayor Lee's invitation to bring the Warriors back to San Francisco. Mayor Lee won't be with us when we cut that ribbon, but without his inspiration, without his guidance, we wouldn't be sitting here today. So thank you, Mayor Lee. Got to give a shout out to Warriors ownership, Joe Lega, Peter Guber. We have some other of our ownership group here today. There's only one word for them. It's fearless. Who in the world would be crazy enough to build a world-class sports entertainment arena privately financed in the city of San Francisco, right? Nobody would do that, all right? You met Joe. You won't meet Peter today. We got a text over the weekend of Peter standing in front of the Taj Mahal at sunrise. I think right about now, he's approaching base camp at Mount Everest. Wow. So basically, it's a typical Monday morning for Peter Guber. I want to welcome our naming rights partner, JP Morgan Chase. The building behind us is going to be known as the Chase Center for at least the next 20 years, and your partnership is extraordinary. I want to also welcome our other founding partners for Chase Center, as well as our other partners who have made unbelievable contributions to make today just possible. A special shout out to the 1,400 men and women who come to work here every day to build with their two hands Chase Center under the direction of Mortensen Clark. It's one of the most inspiring parts of this project to go and talk to the workers who come to work here every day, who have such pride in what they're doing here and what they're creating for generations to come. I want to thank two very prominent Bay Area concert promoters who've been big supporters of this project from day one. From Live Nation, Bob Rue, Jody Goodman, and Matt Priesthoff. And I'd also like to thank Greg Perloff and Sherry Wasserman for being here, part of Another Planet Entertainment. They're going to be bringing amazing events to Chase Center. So Joe talked about the process. San Francisco kind of equals process. I think they're synonymous. So there are a couple ways we could approach it, and the direction from Joe and Peter from day one was we were going to embrace this process. And here we are today, 6 months from opening Chase Center, and I can tell you there are way too many people to thank. Thousands of people, virtually everyone in city government has touched this project. Private citizens who participated in community meetings. It's been an unbelievable outpouring of help for us. Few criticisms as well, but we've learned from that. And I think, as is the case usually in San Francisco, the result is a better project, and one that we're going to be incredibly proud to open. There are three in particular I do need to thank. First, it's UCSF, our neighbor across the street. UCSF and Chancellor Hawgood have been great partners and helped guide us through this process. The Mission Bay Citizens Advisory Committee, our chair, Corinne Woods, they've been with us every step of the way from the very first public meeting till today. And OCII, our executive director, Nadia Sassé, is here with us today. I think all of you may have spent more time with us than your family over the last 4 years, but we thank you for everything you continue to do. So here we are. It's the first day of Reveal Week. And Reveal Week is going to give you just a peek at the types of acts that will be gracing Chase Center in our first year of operation. Today's announcement, must-see acts this week, but it's just the beginning. You're going to see much, much more. This is going to be a weekly event. And Beyonce may not have made the first week, but I'm guessing sometime, Eric, in the next year, she'll be making her appearance here. Today, we're here to answer the question that we have probably been asked more than any other over the last few months. What will the first concert in Chase Center be? We wanted to do something that would be unique to the Bay Area, something that would only happen here and nowhere else in the world. So with that drum roll, right on cue, here we go. 20 years ago, there was a historic collaboration between two iconic forces in music. There was an album recorded over 2 days in Berkeley, right across the bay, in April of 1999. That album went on to win the Grammy that year for Best Rock Instrumental Performance. We're proud to announce that on Friday evening, September 6th, 2019, the first ever concert at Chase Center will be Metallica and the San Francisco Symphony. Metallica and the San Francisco Symphony will reunite and perform together with a special appearance by music director Michael Tilson Thomas and conducted by Edwin Outwater, celebrating the 20th anniversary of their Grammy Award-winning album, Symphony and Metallica, or S&M, for those of you in the know. Metallica is one of the most influential and successful bands of all time, having sold over 125 million albums and played to millions of fans on every continent. For nearly 40 years, the band has had a special relationship with San Francisco. On March 7th, 1999, Metallica was inducted into the San Francisco Hall of Fame, and then Mayor Willie Brown proclaimed that day official Metallica Day. And the San Francisco Symphony is widely considered to be among the most artistically adventurous and innovative art institutions in the world. The recipient of 15 Grammy Awards, the San Francisco Symphony presents more than 220 concerts and presentations annually in its home of Davies Symphony Hall, around the Bay Area, and touring nationally and internationally. The San Francisco Symphony's music director, Michael Tilson Thomas, has led the orchestra to new heights for the past 24 years and is constantly pushing the boundaries of what a symphony orchestra can be in the 21st century. Now another surprise. With us here today, please welcome to the stage from Metallica, Lars Ulrich and James Hetfield, and from the San Francisco Symphony, music director Michael Tilson Thomas.
Past your bedtime?
Oh, way past my bedtime. All right, we have a little question and answer period here with our performers for that first show. Once again, let's hear it from Metallica and the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra. My first question is to Lars. Now, Lars, I've got to ask you, what does it mean to play back in the Bay Area, and specifically here in San Francisco?
Well, it's been obviously, having been based here for 37 years, 36 years, it's great to be back and celebrating this. The last couple of appearances we've done in the Greater Bay Area, we played at the ballpark down the street. I believe it's been renamed in the last couple of months, the
Yes.
Oracle Ballpark now. And so that was a couple, 2-3 years ago, and a year or two before, after that, we played over at the Fox Theater in Oakland for our good friends over here. And so what we love about playing at home in San Francisco, a couple years before that we played at Rasputin's record store in Berkeley, is every time play someplace different, and that every appearance has a different flavor. So to be part of the celebrations and the opening night festivities right here behind us is obviously amazing, and the fact that San Francisco finally has a world-class arena is an amazing thing. No disrespect to obviously the Cow Palace, but where we have played many times back in its heyday.
Right.
But it's nice that that we have a new facility that's right here in San Francisco itself. And so the fact that we've been invited by the organization to be a part of this opening night is an amazing thing. And as somebody who's championed San Francisco for 35 years, it makes us incredibly proud.
You know, it's funny you mentioned the Cow Palace. I mean, and you're opening Chase Center with the San Francisco Symphony. The last time the Warriors played on this side of the bay in a game of any import was actually at the Cow Palace when they won the World Championship in the spring of '75, beating the Washington Bullets. So,
How do you know that?
you
no,
just remember.
seriously.
I'm a Daly City native, so I remember everything that happens in Daly City.
You just spit that out like that. It's amazing.
Oh, yes,
But,
he is.
but to Lars and James, obviously you've done this before, and we're acknowledged for it by the Grammys. But what is the difference, and what is it like, a rock band of your reputation performing with the San Francisco Symphony?
There's more people on stage,
Yeah.
for sure. And there's actually real musicians on stage.
Yeah. Don't tell anybody that part.
And we're a lot more nervous. But it adds to the power. It adds to the opportunities for dynamics, for creating moods with the music, bringing people in, walls of sound, all kinds of great opportunities added by having, a symphony along with you, along for the ride. It's a beautiful opportunity, and, we're super proud that after 38 years, there's still cool things like this on the horizon for us, and we're still able to explore and have some fun with some new friends.
All right, I've actually got a question for Michael. Now, Mike, on the other hand, how does the symphony orchestra come to play with a band like Metallica? How do you prepare for that?
That was two questions. You said, how does it happen to happen? Was that the first question?
How do you come to play with?
Well,
a group
wasn't
like
there? I
Metallica?
think Nat King Cole had a big hit in 1950, which, as I recall, went something like.
Tanel, do you know the name, Mr. Trivia?
Yeah, it went. I was wandering along, minding my business, went out of an orange-colored sky.
Can anybody Shazam that?
Wham! Bam! Alakazam! Wonderful you came by. I think it was something like that.
Wow.
It was
Fantastic.
It was a wonderful, unexpected surprise and opportunity at the confluence of this great new building and being able to reach back into the symphony's shared past with Metallica. My own experiences, I've done quite a lot of big shows from places like the Sydney Opera House that have been all over, and of course, I worked quite a number of projects with George Martin back in my London days with various bands. So yes, it's really about the wall of sound of this, but it's also very much in what we hope, even in the kind of scarily creative conversation we were just having, the three of us, is to explore some questions of how the many different families of instruments that are in the orchestra, many different sounds and textures and brass and winds and percussion and all these things can be used in the interesting multi-layered musical dialogue, which is really what Metallica's music is all about.
And you're going to
It won't happen.
No, but that's a good question, too, because when you think of the symphony, obviously the beautiful music created by the San Francisco Symphony, what does your rock collection look like at home, Michael?
Yeah.
Well, I've got a lot of selenite, wolfenite, quartz, fluorite. I was really into it when I was a teenager.
I'll ask Lars and James, what does your symphonic collection look like?
It's the full circle.
S&M. I have S&M. That's what I got.
So this will be the
first
first S&M event at Chase Center,
one. Yeah, this will be, yeah. Well, I
the
have.
Symphony and Metallica.
Yeah. You're talking about symphony and Metallica. Right, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Okay. The S&M room is something else.
You know, it's funny.
That's where you warm up.
Never mind.
It's funny because on our lines of questioning here, I'm getting the wrap-up sign already. So.
Oh, we're just getting started. No, I'd like to say that what happens to me is Joshua calls up and says there's a concert at the Symphony, come over. Michael is conducting this Mahler thing of this incredible piece, and I show up, and every time I was down a month ago, and every time it's an incredibly enriching experience. And to celebrate the final year of Michael's incredible residency here in San Francisco, 25 years plus, with the kickoff that we're finally doing a creative project together, not just with the symphony and with the orchestra, but with Michael himself. And like Michael was just alluding to, we've been standing backstage in the green room and already throwing ideas at each other. And the next 6 months, we've got the work cut out for us. But it's going to be a very special evening, and it's also going to be a very, I think, different evening than it was in Berkeley in 1999. And so that part is also really exciting.
Well, I'm getting the wrap-up sign here, so thank you to Lars, James, and Mike for being with us today. We look forward to seeing you and other band members, Kirk and Robert. I hope to see them here on that very special night.
We hope they show up.
Here in September, I hope.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us today, not only here in person, but also on NBC Sports Bay Area and at chasecenter.com. Stay tuned, because all week, and Rick referred to this is Reveal Week. This is simply the first event of a week's worth of reveals by the Warriors in Chase Center. So there'll be a different reveal every day this week. So please join us for each day to know what's going to be going on the initial events here at Chase Center. And have a great afternoon. Thanks again for being here.
And a reminder, tune in to chasecenter.com all week. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming out. Thank you, guys.
Watch this space.